Yo. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 297. Oh my gosh, 300 is almost here. I can't believe it. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. It is just a few short weeks away, man.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. We got episode 300 going down in Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to say off the top tonight, if you are coming, email us at mailbag@marriedtothegames.com and let's get together and do this thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna be hanging. We're gonna be watching all the press conferences, and then we're gonna be hanging some more, and we're gonna be eating and hanging and doing a live show and watching press conferences. It's gonna be
okay. Real quick,
yes.
Are we watching all the press conferences,
well,
like
I don't know
the
about,
PC one and all, like everything, or just the mainline?
Well, I wanna make it available. So obviously we'll be watching. I don't think Nintendo happens till Tuesday. But Sony, Microsoft, Ubisoft, EA, like the ones that are happening over the weekend,
yeah,
I want to be available for the people. And we all have to be there. If you're not interested in the Ubisoft, it's not like everybody got to be at all of them. But I just want people to know it's going to be available.
Are most of them on Sunday?
That's a good question.
Well, Sunday and Monday, I think. I think there's a few
Saturday
throughout the day.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Oh, is it?
I didn't
realize. I guess I forgot it starts on Saturday. That's right.
We've got a super loose schedule somewhere. EA and MTTG 300 are on Saturday.
Okay.
Microsoft, Bethesda are on Sunday. Square, Ubisoft, and Sony are on Monday.
There you go.
Nice.
That's all I have written down. There could be some other ones out there that I'm not mentioning, but that sounds about right to me.
If they're not on that list, they're probably not important.
Well, I'm not saying that.
Well, I am.
Nice.
Chris McCracken. What's going on with you that day, brethren?
Oh, just holding it down at work. Things are going fine. Just busy as usual, especially because I'm going to be leaving for 300 here in a couple weeks. And that 300 happens to fall just right before a really important thing that we need to get done in my department.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like,
Never fails, man.
I'm getting all the parts and pieces that I'm responsible for done before 300. And then I'm about, and then I'm going to land, and we're going to have like a couple days before a few really big projects either are due or brand new ones are being started. So, So luckily, I mean, if 300 just fell the right way, because if they would have been like, oh my gosh, we're going to need you, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, too bad. But so, yeah, I'm just working feverishly to get as many pieces of the puzzle in the right place that they can be, so that I'm not leaving my fellow partners, hanging, and they're all set up for success and everything.
It's a good man right there.
This past weekend on Saturday, Saturday, here they had locally they had a beer fest in the city of Grapevine, which is, they usually have this thing called Grape Fest, which is basically around wine, because there's a bunch of wineries and stuff over in that part of town. And so this time, I guess they've had this a few different years, and I never knew about it, but they had a beer fest. It's basically the same thing. It's just that instead of wine, they had beer, and they actually did have some wine there. But one of the cool things is you can do like a little, I don't know if they called it a tour or a flight or something like that, but you buy this little glass this like holds 3 or 4 ounces, and then you pay, I think it was like $10, $15 or something. And then you can go around to all the different breweries that are represented there, and you just fill up your glass, and you can do it, I think, about 8 times on your little card that they give you, and they punch it each time that you go and get a different one. So I got to try all these different beers that I haven't tried in a long time. Well, a few of them I had tried before, but not in a long time. And then the vast majority of them were ones I had never had before at all. So that was a lot of fun. we went out there with our friends Katie and Kale, and not only that, but there's also a lot of different food vendors and a lot of. It's also kind of mixed with a bit of an art show, so you'll have a lot of local artists and artists from out of town. They have little booths where they're selling their paintings or photographs or sculptures or whatever the heck they got going on. So we always really like going to those art festivals as well. So this is kind of like a mix of the best of both worlds, where you get all the cool art stuff and the different carny kind of foods and stuff like giant corn dogs and whatnot, and you have beer on the other side. So there's something for everybody.
Nice.
And then on Sunday, so Stacy is the little workout girl of the family. Like, she's always working out. She, that's kind of her thing. She really likes to do it. It's one of her things she does for fun. And I used to, as you guys know, I used to run a whole lot. And I don't know if you guys remember, but back when we were moving, we were loading up the pod. So we were basically moving out of the old house, but it was when we were going to be moving over to our friend Katie and Kale's, because we didn't have a new home yet. And when we were loading that up, I had stepped off of this little small ledge we had in our garage when we were loading something into the van. In the pickup, and I was stepping down, and I stepped weird, and I hurt my ankle pretty bad, and it sprained it really, really bad. And so I haven't been able to run or do, which really was the only form of working out that I did outside of a few little online things here and there where I would watch and okay, I'm gonna do what the routines they're doing. But I haven't been able to run in a really, really long time, and I didn't want to come back early and try to push it before it was exactly ready. So the last couple of months, it's felt like, okay, I think I can start getting into running, and I just, I haven't quite gotten to that point yet because I haven't found a good spot around here where I can go and just run for a couple of miles. There is a park down the road that I need to check out, and I haven't tried it yet. I think that's where I'm going to end up going and running. But my neighborhood is so small because it's a little bitty small segment of the area. So, but in my old house, I could just run for 2 or 3 miles, throughout the neighborhood. But I can't really do that over here without going ping ponging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I just don't really want to do that. So I asked Stacy, I was like, hey, I knew the gym she was going to had a free trial thing where you could go and you could try it out. And it's kind of a coach, and it leads this class that she takes and everything. So I went ahead and finally set up a time and went and tried that out. And it was fun, and I feel like I did really well, especially my first time just getting back into it in a really long time. But oh my gosh, have I been ridiculously sore the last few days. It's so apparent how out of shape I was. And and Stacy's big thing is she's always like, you got to foam roll. You got to foam roll. And then my sister, she leads this kind of women's workout group over in her part of town where she lives. And I called her and FaceTimed her about some other things, and just happened to mention to her too how I had worked out with Stacy now, and she's telling me the same thing. You got to foam roll, and I'm trying to do this foam roller, and it's just hard. It hurts. I don't like the foam roller. I don't like burpees, which burpees were part of the class, by the way. So I actually was supposed to go back to the class today, but I had her when she went on Monday. I said, hey, you just tell them, push me to Wednesday. I said, I don't physically think I can do it, because if I'm having to do a squat with, weights in my hand, I don't think I'm getting back up.
Wow.
Because that's how much pain I was in. So I was really glad. This was a huge wake up call. It's whoa, I really need to get, myself moving and not just be sitting and playing video games all the time. I got to work off a little bit of that energy I got going on.
Yeah.
So that was really my two big things over the weekend that I had going on. Gaming wise, I did get the platinum finally for God of War.
Man. Hey, nice! Congratulations.
It's actually really kind of bittersweet because I didn't really want to stop playing, and I could go back in there, and there's still things I can do, but there's nothing really. There's not really a carrot on the end of the stick outside of just enjoying being in the world.
Right.
I've actually Lim's going to let out a huge scream of a big yes right now, but I've thought about just going in there and playing around with photo mode for a while because I haven't done that in a really, really long time.
Yeah, right.
Boring.
I know, but I haven't actually done it yet because I've actually seen a bunch of really, really awesome shots online, and I was digging through some of the screenshots and whatnot I have on my PS4 earlier. And I found my folder where it has all my infamous Second Son screenshots that I'd done and inside of their photo mode. And it just kind of got the creative juices flowing again. I was like, so I may go in there and mess around just a little bit, but I haven't yet. Pretty much since I got the platinum, I played a little bit more then, and then I've put it down and I haven't gone back. But such a fun game. And I will definitely be going back and playing the campaign again. I already know that I'm going to. It's
awesome.
just with some other stuff coming out right around here. I was like, well, now's not the time, but probably around July or so, or maybe in August, like right before all the fall games hit, I can see myself jumping back in and at least getting it started and just kind of taking my time with it rather than trying to. Not that I rushed through it, but I was definitely trying to like my head down straight into it because I didn't want to get anything spoiled for me. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, I did try Fortnite finally a little bit more in depth because my nephew has been playing Fortnite. Yeah, he's been playing Fortnite. And so Stacy went ahead and downloaded it as well. So we've been playing with him. And funny enough, the 2 times that we've all played, we also played with my sister Jenna, who was playing on her iPhone. And teamed up with us in a group. Yeah.
So
which
weird
she can't party chat unless we did something like Discord, but that would probably be the only way. I don't think that there's an in-game chat that the phone part can access, but we could team up and party up and play together. So that was kind of fun. It was just neat that, oh, wow. I mean, granted, I understand that we can't team with Xbox or anything, but it's kind of neat to see, the little icon of, oh, I'm playing with somebody on a phone. That's just weird. It's kind of cool, crazy that actually works and is a thing that goes on nowadays. Still don't really have it all figured out yet. And my nephew, like he knows pretty much everything, but he's not used to explaining to somebody else what this means and how to do that. So he's just like he kept saying, go over here and push the arrows. And it took me forever before I figured out, oh, he means the D-pad, but he calls them arrows because on the Xbox or on the PlayStation controller, they're broken out. It's not solid. So they look like little arrows to him. So it's like, oh, okay. So like just little weird things like that where you can tell he's just not used to telling people and he only knows what he knows because he's only done it himself.
Right.
So I'm sure we'll be playing a few more times with him. The Overwatch anniversary event dropped tonight. So we did play, Stacy and I and Katie and Kale. We played a little bit of that for a while. Got a few loot boxes. Nice. I did get the Sherlock Holmes McCree skin, which was really cool. I also got the Symmetra skin, but whatever. And then I did buy Runner 3. I bought it on Steam because it launched today on Steam and Switch.
Nice.
And I don't know when it's going to... They did say confirm it's going to be coming to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but they just said at a later date. So I don't know exactly when that's going to be. And I was like, well, it was also on sale on Steam for if you pre-ordered it before launch. So I was like, all right. So I just went ahead and picked it up. I've been playing it on my computer, and I can just hook up the DualShock 4, and I can play it that way, and it's been a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying finally being back in a runner world. And not all last week, but about half of last week, and then all today and yesterday and today, I've been just listening to the soundtrack at work when I'm not trying to fit in a podcast or something. It's an amazing soundtrack. I love it, just like I did Runner 2 soundtrack. So if you have a Switch or you're a Steam person, I highly recommend checking out Runner 3. It's not that expensive. I think full price is maybe $30 or something like that. And I find it a lot of fun. So at least check it out and look into it. And I think Runner 2 is on sale for like $3 or something. So if you want to just give that one a try and see if it's something you dig, that's really cheap. So that's what I would recommend.
There you go.
That's awesome.
And that's about it for me.
Yeah. And we about this thing.
Peace.
Tim Router. Sorry, I've got two Tim R's in my life.
Tim Rosen Router.
Tim Rosenau and Tim Router.
That's right, man.
Tim Router was going down.
How you doing, brother? Piper's topic of the week is camp. Camp has begun this week. She's doing a camp over at Let It Shine, which is a gymnastics place that she goes to as well. And she is having such a great time. She's meeting new friends, and I'm super excited for her. Man, it's been kind of a roller coaster this past week because Friday was her last day of school, her last day of kindergarten.
That's
right. So
nice.
the class had a little party, and we gave a gift to her teacher, and they had a half day, and that was it. And so yeah, she's going to be a freaking first grader in August. I can't believe it.
Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday was our last game, soccer game of the spring season. And so then we had a birthday party that night. And then Sunday, we just ran around and did some errands. And mommy is up in New York at the stationery show right now. So I'm holding it down here.
Oh, nice.
So there's just a lot going on, man. It's been pretty crazy. We've got camp all this week, and then it's Memorial Day. And then next week we go to Disney with the whole Router clan, because we were supposed to do this in January, but that's when my father got sick. Or was getting over everything. So it's going to be a lot of fun just to have everybody together. It's going to be hot and so Gabe,
busy.
So Gabe, because I'm like right there with you, man. I'm
but school wasn't out when I went down there.
I know. I know.
So man,
now on the East Coast, school's still in, but I mean, in the South, it's everybody.
Yeah,
will
but
be
in Florida's got to
then.
be out, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I'll be finding a place to do the podcast next week. I am sure. That will probably be a car situation. We will have a rental car.
I wish I had a car.
I know,
instead of somebody bumping me in the butt in the shoes with a vacuum.
That's right. I still can't believe that happened, man. They're just like, oh, we'll just work.
Yeah,
we'll just
it's time
work
for
around
you to go. Yeah.
So yeah, man. So it's a lot of craziness, but I'm excited. Piper's excited for the summer and going to the pool, and we've got a couple other camps lined up. This Let It Shine camp kind of goes for the week, and you can kind of go week on, week off, and just kind of whenever you want to. And I think she's having a really good time with it, so I'm super excited for her. So she's and it's great because she comes home and she's exhausted. So we're like, yes,
exactly.
That energy level just goes down, and it's awesome, and it's kind of nice and chilled out. Let's see what else is going on the gaming front. I'm just still going through God of War and just
nice.
I'm just loving this, man. I'm kind of taking my time now because I know we were rushing for a little bit, but now I'm like, man, this is just too good to I just want to explore everything. Man. And there's so many good challenges and puzzles and just all kinds, and they give you a ton of loot too, which I feel like they're a little generous with it, which is great. But at the same time, the bosses and the different the enemies that you face are just as hard. Spoiler alert, anybody else having trouble with the Valkyries right now? I'm getting demolished.
Oh yeah,
by those jokers.
They're meant to be tough.
Yeah,
even after I finished the game, I gave up on them. I didn't beat it one.
They're basically, I mean, there's a couple of them that are a slight bit easier because I think some of the ones you just more randomly find earlier on in the game, but they're pretty much meant to be like in-game content, like past the story kind of thing.
I've defeated 2 so far.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, good.
The first one took me an hour. The second one took me 45 minutes or so. But man, those things are tough. But you know what's funny? Like, I'm not ready to rage quit. I get a little frustrated at times, but it's great just figuring out all the combat. Like, there's still things that I haven't discovered until like going through that. And I'm like, oh, if I hold down L1 and circle, I get this additional move and this kind of, and so there's all kinds of stuff to find that you won't necessarily do right off the bat. But it's just like, I'm just having so much fun with it. So I have no problems just spending an hour trying to kill somebody. I mean, it's totally fine. And using Atreus is just such a, that totally helps. He's almost completely buffed up. And man, this game is just stupid. It's just so good. And Chris, I think I might do the same thing because we'll have the summer kind of doldrum until the fall kicks up. And we all know Last of Us 2 is coming out maybe in the summer too, so we might be playing that, but you never know. And I think I would definitely do this campaign again. In the summer because it's totally worth it. So, and I haven't even gotten to the end. Like, I'm still mainlining everything, but the story is so good. The relationships between father and son are so good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this ends. So, man, that and Clash Royale, man, and that's it for me.
Nice. Ed Placencia?
Yes, sir.
What about you, doggy?
Well, last week we were in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and
Square One
every day, all day.
Oh, you're not still there? Why did I think you were still there?
We're not still there. No. We left Lancaster on Saturday to go to Gettysburg for a wedding, and it's
is that the right way to say that?
Gettysburg.
Yeah, I always said Gettysburg, but it's the locals say Gettysburg.
Really?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. Who knew?
That happened to me today. Actually, I had to do a voiceover for a university in Norfolk. That's how I say it.
They say Norfolk.
I was like, that's not right. All right, okay, well, I changed this up.
That's so weird because I lived like 30 minutes from Gettysburg, and we always called it Gettysburg.
Yeah,
so that's
and they
very
call it
interesting.
what?
Yeah, what's the right way?
Gettysburg, like it's Gettis.
Gettysburg.
Weird.
Yeah,
but it's spelled YS.
Right.
That's like Wednesday in February. Like both those
weird
spellings are just crazy.
February.
Yeah, February.
Sorry, it's Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah.
I'm sorry. The correct pronunciation is Wednesday.
That's just like a whole area of cities that aren't pronounced how you think, like Lancaster instead of Lancaster.
Right.
And Reading instead of reading. It's just a weird area.
It is a weird area. Man, that Gettysburg is awesome, though. You ever want to like go through the history of all that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Is really incredible there.
Yeah, it's definitely the place to do it. And it was a nice wedding. It was one of Sarah's friends. I'd met her and her now husband a handful of times, but Sarah really is the one that knew the bride. And so it was a very, very short wedding, which is always nice.
Boring. I'm just kidding.
Right. Snooze. Wow.
Just kidding. For some reason, I can't stand weddings. And I was just trying to throw boring in there again because I said it to Chris.
I can't either, which is why I was glad it was a short one, because there were no songs. It was just like boom, 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 you're married. That's it.
Yeah.
And now a reading from Corinthians, blah, blah, blah.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Oh my God.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
But it was really funny at the reception. This woman came up to me to the table. She was probably in her 60s, very excited. Oh, this must be Eddie. I've heard so much about you.
Oh,
really?
And I had no idea who it was. And she came up to me and I stood to like shake her hand, and she did the thing that older ladies do when it's like, oh, I guess we kiss on the cheek.
Right.
Yes, that's it. That's a northwest or northeast thing. Yep.
And she grabbed my head, pulled me in, but then turned her face to the side as
that's
if
right.
This is my cheek.
You just touch cheeks. You just touch cheeks and kiss in the air.
Yeah, kissing in the air.
I was so confused. I was like, who is this? We kiss on the, who are you? And so to make an awkward situation even more awkward, I just leaned in and tapped my forehead against hers.
Nice.
You headbutted her. You're like, we headbutt around here.
That's what everyone at the table said. They were like, you just headbutted her. And I just like tapped foreheads and I went, there you go.
Oh my God.
There you go.
There you go. That is amazing.
It turns out it was the mother of the bride.
Hey.
Oh my God. Of course it was.
Really weird.
Eddie headbutts the mother of the bride.
That's right. That's right. Mission accomplished.
Starring Steve Martin.
That's right.
So you hadn't met her before?
No, never.
You know, it's funny. We must be living parallel lives. I was leaving a restaurant the other day and this guy pulled up and he was like, good work. And I was like, what? He was like, good work. And I said, all right, thanks, man. And like, I'm like cool. Trying to put Remy in his seat. And he goes, you know me. And I was like,
oh
yeah.
That's not weird.
What's your name? He's like, Bill. I was like, all right, man. Well, see you later. He goes, I just moved here. I was like, okay.
Cool.
He was like, in December. I was like, all right. He was like, we should get coffee sometime. I was like, is this still going?
Are we still doing this?
I should have, but I wish I would have known, Ed. I would have just headbutted him.
I know. That's what you do. That's what you do.
That's how you end those confrontations.
That's right.
You know me, headbutt.
There you go. I sure do. Kablam.
Yeah. I'll know for next time. The more you know.
Right.
That's right.
So that the wedding was on Sunday. We stayed the night there and drove back on Monday. And I was so excited because I know that Detroit comes out this week.
Come on, baby.
And I was like, oh man, you know what? I'm just going to stay up Monday night. I pre-ordered it. When it drops at midnight, I'm going to be playing like a maniac.
Oh, no. Ed, Friday.
No, you weren't.
Exactly. Exactly. So I went to go fire it up and it was like, they have the timer to when it releases. And it was like 3 days. And I was like, oh, come on.
Oh, God.
So I played a little bit of Ghost Recon Wildlands again and still enjoying that. And then like Chris picked up the Overwatch anniversary event and tonight got to play with Jared and Kaboski and Drew. And we're still taking Patrick and Mark Boucher through it. And they are really catching on.
Nice.
Patrick's a Soldier 76 guy. Mark Boucher is a Diva guy. And it's just been so much fun to, introduce the game to these guys that are loving it, and it's just they're still playing right now, which is really cool. So
that's great.
I'm really happy for them. I just love that they caught on to it, and that's been the week.
There's nothing like introducing a game to somebody who ends up loving it.
Oh man, I love that feeling.
There is nothing like that. I love that too.
That's very cool.
Louise.
Especially when it's a game that you love as well.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's so great, man.
Yeah.
That's good, Ed.
That's it for you?
That's it for me.
All right, Mr. Patillo, what you got?
I got being exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Canada this last weekend. Red Deer,
Canada.
Alberta. Canada.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
The Mecca.
The bustling city. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Red Deer.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an hour and 15 minutes north of Calgary, probably an hour and 45 minutes south of Edmonton. So it's kind of just in that in between. And so that was a fun show. It was just exhausting getting there and back. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you go that far to do one show to turn around and come back. And like just to paint the picture, like that night we do a show and we, get off stage probably at 10:30, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have an hour and a half drive to Calgary.
Oosh.
Get there, get in your hotel, then you still got to shower. And so you're not really laying in bed till probably 12:45-ish. And then, but our lobby call to go to the airport the next morning is 4:30 in the morning.
Oh,
wow.
Exactly. So I don't know if you guys have this kind of alarm on your phone, but when I set my alarm, it tells me how long from then it's going off.
Right.
And so I ended up falling asleep till a little bit after 1. And it's like, I'm setting my alarm. I'm like 4:15. It's like, I will go off in 2 hours and 50 minutes. You're like, oh,
right.
You will shut your face right now.
My back. And so it's just, ugh. It was, so I'm still haven't caught up with myself because you get home, you try to do the dad thing. And then like around dinner, I was like, oh, I can't.
I'm done.
I can't.
I'm done.
I'm fading. I'm fading. And Jenny's, awesome. So she's like, go lay down for a little bit. I'm like, okay. And then you wake up at 8 and you're like, oh gosh, it's 8:00. And then, then your body's like, hey baby, we up till 4. And you're like, shoot. So I couldn't get to sleep last night. Went to bed around 4. We got to have Amara up by 7 to go to school because we're not out until tomorrow.
That's right.
And so I'm still like just a little drunk on the sleep thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Little hazy.
Yeah, a little foggy for sure. So, but the weekend went good. It was a little stressful. We had some guys, as musicians do, like, oh, we were going to Canada. My passport's expired. And one of our guys didn't even come. Like, he just wasn't there. And everybody was like, how'd the show go? I was like, better than I'd want it to if I missed a show. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get replaced. They're like, oh, we don't actually need you here. So that went fine. I got to do on Thursday night, I got to do an interview with Troy Baker. And that was
nice.
Really fun. And so we're actually going to be releasing it. I've talked to these guys because the interview went a lot longer than I was expecting.
That's awesome.
I was like praying for it to be 20 minutes. I was like, ooh, Lord, if I could get 20 minutes. Because, he's a brand, and he'll talk about this in the interview, but he's a brand new dad. Like, I'm talking like weeks. I think his baby came on like the 3rd of May.
Oh, wow.
And so he's a brand new dad. And so, I can hear the baby in the background. And I was like, if I get 20 minutes, that'd be awesome. 30 minutes would be really lucky. And I could hopefully get all my questions in. An hour and a half later,
look at you. See?
We're like, all right, well, thank you for talking. And I was like, man, I appreciate you
awesome.
taking all this time.
Yeah.
And so we're going to release that interview next week on the RSS feed, like however you get it, iTunes, Stitcher, however. And we're going to do it just a little separate instead of having like a 4-hour long show.
Right.
That's awesome though, dude.
Yes. So that was really fun.
Cool.
So shout outs to Troy for making the time as a new dad and somebody who's got, and he was like, he talked to me in between leaving town and all this. So I just, Really appreciate it. And so that was really cool. That was the highlight of last week for sure.
It's a good dude
Very
right
nice.
there.
Yeah.
That's for
Yeah,
sure.
nice.
Getting to talk to Troy. And then we got the K-Love Awards this weekend. I'm meeting with
Oh yeah.
I'm meeting with like the Nashville Guild of Extra Life this Thursday. We're gonna go get some coffee and talk about Extra Life and Married to the Games and stuff like that. So that's really cool. I'm actually like really excited about that.
Man.
Which is really fun. And then tomorrow's last day at school. Me and Toby and some of the other guys are going to sing at her devotional in the morning. So she's super pumped about that. Because she's at the age where I don't embarrass her just being around just yet.
Not
so
yet.
I'm trying to soak it up.
Uh-oh. Tell
So-
him, Gabe.
What's this about?
I got to the point where I'm just kind of like done with the shed. Like I don't get any time to go out there and finish up. So today I hired somebody, and it's good and bad because it's good. It's bad because I already got money stolen from trying to do the shed. So now I'm out even more money, but like it should be done and ready for painting and the
There you
floor
go.
by Thursday. And like, and then I can start moving in there.
Oh,
Very
great,
nice.
And
That's
that's
cool.
just like insane to me that
That'll
it's
be worth it
now
though.
all
once
of a
you're
sudden
in.
around
Yeah.
the corner. Exactly. And these guys seem really great. And I got to tell them the story of what happened, and they got really mad. They were like, they were Hispanic guys, and they were like, he wasn't Hispanic, was he? And I was like,
Yeah.
he was. And they're like, no, he's making it hard for the rest of us. And I was like,
Oh man.
I was like, hey baby, I get it. Because every time
Right?
something happens, I'm like, he wasn't black, was he?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was. I'm like, doggone it. So
I was like, I'm just
Jeez.
now allowed in the bathroom at Starbucks.
exactly. He didn't have to buy anything. So I got him on that minority thing. I was like, I know y'all.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. And he was like, we're not all like that. I was like, I wouldn't have called you if I thought you were all like
Right.
that. Your name is a dead
Yeah.
giveaway. So it was really cool just to talk to those guys, and they'd be like, listen,
Yeah.
we're gonna do this right. You don't give us any money till we're done and you're happy. And I was like,
Oh, it's amazing.
Sweet.
That's
There
good.
you go. Yeah, that's
Hang
a good
on
way
to
to do
That's
it.
good.
those guys, man. That's
right?
good people
I was
right
like,
there.
shoot,
Absolutely.
if they knock this out, I've got a laundry list of people that can
Laundry
use
list.
some
Hey,
guys
and
like
gi-
this. Some
Give me their
trustworthy
number,
guys.
man. I will be happy to use them too.
No, they do the whole thing. It's a whole crew of guys. And he was just really nice. So
That's
That's
perfect.
cool.
Yep.
it was
Good.
good to meet him. I can't believe the shed's going to be ready to like do the thing.
Yeah, man.
this
Yeah,
weekend.
man.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Do the do.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it for me. Gaming wise, Call of Duty. Oh, I did a poll on, I'm sorry, I'm talking a bunch. Shoot.
That's
Not-
fine, dude. If
Well,
a
you
lot
were
happens,
offending
then-
me, but say what you gotta say, man.
Chris is like, get on with it.
Yeah, exactly. I did do a poll before I went to Canada, and I was like, hey, I got a lot of playing time coming up.
Mhm.
What games for the Switch? And, I put like 4 different games up there. Mario Rabbids, A Golf Story, L.A. Noire, and Celeste,
L.A. Noire.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And the votes came in, and Mario and Rabbids won.
Mhm.
However, I
played
own that
right?
game already, and I had played it, but I put it on the list because so many people said it, so I just kind of went
Yeah.
by what people were saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but what came in second was Golf Story.
Mhm.
And it's a little 8-bit thing. You're playing a guy, and it's he loves golf, and he's trying to make his way to the pros and stuff like that. Listen, I do not like 8-bit graphic games. Like it just doesn't do the thing for me like it does for other people. And I know
Yeah.
it's easier to animate, and that's why a lot of indies are done in 8-bit. And I know it got really popular a couple years ago, and I don't enjoy that for some strange reason. I'd rather them be small sprites, and it doesn't have to be an amazing looking game, but like I don't really love the 8-bit game.
You want it to be at least 16-bit style.
Right.
Exactly.
Let's just multiply that,
Yeah, I
shall
was
we?
like, can we be a Super Nintendo at least? And so I really like this game though.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
There
Good.
you go.
And it's
I
so
feel like it's been really popular on the Discord. People have really been chatting it up.
yeah, and it's so different. And I didn't think I would like it, but like it's probably got literally the best ever use of speech bubbles that I've ever seen ever in a game.
Really?
Is that right? That's funny.
Just the way they move and the way they use the all caps and the way they like will type something out slow. It almost feels like if you have any imagination whatsoever, that you can hear exactly the way the writers wanted you to read it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, yeah?
And the way it plays out, like I've found myself literally laugh out loud probably 4 times. Like, and people look over, I'm like, sorry, it's just this game.
Oh, that's funny.
And I've never had that kind of attachment. Like, I'm not super attached to the character. I'm not like in love with the person I'm playing. The golf is really fun. It feels tight and right. It doesn't feel loosey-goosey. You know, you can tell that it's an 8-bit graphic game on a more powerful, system. And what's funny is the speech bubbles actually are modern. They're not old 8-bit speech bubbles. But like the way they move and then the way the switch vibrates on sometimes when somebody's like yelling, the switch will vibrate, and you could just
nice.
I don't know, the speech bubbles get a 10 from me. Like it's just done so well. And it's just such a weird thing to stand out. You know what I mean?
Right. That's cool though.
Yeah, it was really cool the way they do it. Anyway, they kill it, and the way they make the text so small. Like when somebody whispers something, like if they say like, "Oh, I really want an ice cream. I was wondering if you could get it for me." Like they do the text really
cool.
small, and then they even do
awesome.
it even smaller than that to where you really can't read it, and it's just like, oh, I don't know. It's just I'm having a good time with it, and it's not one of those games like when you go to sleep you're thinking about it, like maybe God of War is or something like that. But like when you're playing it, you're smiling kind of.
That's awesome.
That's good.
I'm glad.
So good on the community. I had never even heard of it. So good on the community for saying play that game, and they voted it to second place. And I was like, you know what? I've played Mario and Rabbids, and I've officially named Donnie as the Chubby Ninja Whisperer because it seems like anytime he says buy something, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to get that. Okay, I'll get it. I don't know. He just got that power over me somehow.
Nice.
So Donnie, thanks a lot.
That's awesome.
But he was big up in it. Eric Green was big up in it. So I appreciate y'all because it was a really fun game. I played it the whole way to Canada. I mean,
that's
like
cool.
6 hours strong played it that first day because they had
great, man.
plugs in the airplane. Hallelujah.
Hey, hallelujah.
So I didn't have to worry about that battery life. Anyway, okay, that's seriously. I'm
wait. No,
one other thing. I'm just kidding. Router.
Yes.
You got it?
Yes.
Well, let's do it!
All right, as always, let's start with some new releases. And Eduardo, Friday.
Yes,
Friday.
the 25th.
Detroit Become Human PS4. Go get it on Friday.
Should we still all try to record that, Ed? Like, should I record my playthrough of that just in case, or should we not even worry about it and just let you do it?
If you want to, I definitely would still put in the little annotations like during the major
big moments?
diversions. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
There it goes.
Problem solved.
Okay.
Yep.
Dark Souls Remastered for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4 is out this week. State of Decay 2 for the Xbox One and PC.
Mm-hmm.
H1Z1 Battle Royale for the PS4. Star Trek Bridge Crew, the next generation.
So H1Z1 for PS4 is out, like out?
Yeah, it's out.
Out.
Really?
Out.
It just came
someone
out.
was playing that today. Someone that we were playing Overwatch with was talking about it.
I wonder what it costs. I'm interested. I don't know, just because I feel like I've got plenty of avenues right now to get my Battle Royale on, but I'm just interested to check out like a stream or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. For PSVR, Star Trek Bridge Crew, the next generation comes out this week. This one's really interesting. Gora Goa for the PS4 and Xbox One. It's a beautifully hand-illustrated story suspended inside a puzzle with a completely unique mechanic. The user moves panels around on a grid as though arranging framed drawings.
Huh.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool.
It's the hand illustrated part was like, oh, that could be pretty cool. So I don't know. Let's check that out. I think that'd be pretty cool.
What's it called? Gora Goa?
Goro Goa, yeah.
Nice.
Disco Dodgeball Remix for the PC, Switch, Xbox One, and PS4. As McCracken said, Runner 3 is out for the Switch and PC.
I'm so glad that you're getting to play that, Chris.
Yeah,
I know you were so bummed when you heard that it was just coming to the Switch, so I'm glad it's on.
Yeah, good on you for powering that up on the computer and just.
I'm just lucky. I'm actually it's more that I'm lucky that Choice Provisions, the developer, that they were like, you know what, and we're gonna make this work on Mac because otherwise I wouldn't be able to play it.
Yeah, really.
So
yeah, exactly. No, that's great.
So kudos to them.
Also for the Switch, Mega Man Legacy Collection and Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 is out. And Tennis World Tour. Get your rackets on for the PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One.
Yep.
All right. We got a few oops this week over on Discord.
Ooh, a few.
We
did.
Nova Beyond at Chris McCracken asked if Mass Effect came to PlayStation. Then Tim and Gabe said it didn't. However, the original Mass Effect game, although not released on its own, was eventually released on the PS3 as a boxed set that included the entire trilogy on December 4th, 2012.
I did know that.
This brought Mass Effect 1 on PlayStation console for the very first time. All right, Monday morning quarterback, we hear you.
Exactly.
That's awesome. MLS Chop. Lawbreakers did not come out in 2014. It is less than a year old, releasing in August 2017. Given how quickly Boss Key bailed on it and Radical Heights, I'm guessing they had serious capital issues. Sean Capri, should we oops every time someone says Games Pass? It's Game Pass. It's confusing because it's a pass that grants access to multiple games, but nah, Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha. It should be Games Pass.
I agree. Games Pass.
Only because, remember, Router, that was one of our discussions before we started the podcast. We were like, all right, should we be married to the game or married to the games?
Yes.
And I was like, well, I don't want us to sound like we're just married to a game. We're married to all the games.
That's right. All of the games.
So you should have done a Games Pass.
Yeah, game, but I guess it's Game Pass, whatever.
Yeah.
And finally, Calmed Fury. While the Nashville FC expansion team was approved in 2017, they are not playing in the MLS until 2020. That's very good. I did not know that, so thank you for that.
They're waiting for us to get a name. Just kidding.
Yeah, right. Well, for Gabe at least.
Exactly.
So
I'm just calling them the Sharks just because.
Just because we're in a landlocked state, and why not? Right?
Exactly. So I can send Ed a jersey.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly, and make him pee himself. It'd be great.
He can burn it on YouTube.
You know I will.
Ooh, that would be fun. Don't tempt him.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have MPD for April.
Ooh, let's hear it.
All right, this is for U.S. only. April MPD. Here we go. Consumer spending grew 18% year over year from 699 million to 823 million across the board.
Wow.
So we'll flip it up a little bit. Here's how 2018 is comparing so far compared to 2017. Total spending right now, $4.24 billion. That's up 15% from last year.
In 1 month.
No, this is for the year. This is year to date.
Year to date.
So this is January to now.
I was about to say.
January to the end of April.
Me
Yeah. I mean, that would be insane if it was just for April.
I know.
For hardware, 1.15 billion, up 14% from 1.01 billion from year to date, from January to now. PC and console software, 1.89 billion, up 9% from 1.74 billion. And accessories, 1.2 billion, up 29% from 927 million. Man, that's a lot of billions going around, and we're not even halfway through the year yet. That's insane.
They can make it rain all over the place.
Seriously, man. I love video games. It's awesome. Okay, let's go on to speaking of video games, let's go on to top 10 games. Number 10, NBA 2K18. Number 9, Super Mario Odyssey.
Hey, really?
Yep. Number 8, Call of Duty World War II. Number 7, GTA 5.
Wow.
Number 6, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Man, Mario Kart has been on there, I think, all year so far.
Yeah, go ahead, Mario Kart.
So, yeah, good on you, Mario Kart. That's awesome. Number 5, Chris's favorite Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze.
Mm. Get your bananas on.
That's right. Number
Get
4,
your disappointment on.
Yeah, buddy. That's awesome. He's not bitter or anything, is he?
Yeah.
Number 4, Labo Variety Kit. Thanks, Jimmy Kimmel. Or not Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon for featuring that with Ariana Grande like 2 weeks ago.
They sang using all the Lambo instruments.
They killed it too. Oh, it was so good.
That's awesome. She can freaking sing anyway. Gracious.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's ridiculous. Number 3, MLB 18, The Show. Number 2, Far Cry 5.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Number 1,
Boy.
God of War. They said God of War 2018. Santa Monica Studios' God of War had the best launch month ever for a PlayStation 4 exclusive in terms of dollar sales. It instantly ascended to the number 1 spot on the top sellers list for April, and it is now number 3 on the best-selling games of 2018 behind Capcom's Monster Hunter World at number 2 and Ubisoft's Far Cry 5 at number 1. April was a great month for Sony in particular, thanks to God of War. It was the best-selling publisher of the month, and the PlayStation 4 set a new record in software sales.
Wow.
PlayStation 4 software dollar sales in April set an all-time April high for any platform since tracking began in 1995. The record was previously been held by Xbox 360 and was set in April of 2008. Moving on to Moving on to hardware and accessories, spending on hardware grew 15% year over year in April, from $195 million to $225 million, thanks mainly due to the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo's SNES Classic. So Sony did come out on top, though. PlayStation 4 was the best-selling console last month as well as year-to-date, and its PlayStation 4 Pro bundle with God of War generated the most dollar sales. PlayStation 4 generated the highest April unit sales for a console since Nintendo Wii in April 2009, and the highest April dollar sales for a console since Nintendo Wii in April 2008.
Wow.
So basically, PlayStation is doing pretty well right now. Because this is interesting. Because of the high sales of PlayStation 4, the DualShock 4 wireless controller has now set a record as the all-time best-selling gamepad in dollar sales. I thought that was pretty incredible. So there you have it. There is NPD. I guess it's fair to say that everything's looking up for the video game industry.
Wow, that's crazy.
We're doing just fine.
The difference one game can make.
Yeah, man, that is pretty insane. So, kudos to Sony for that. That's pretty incredible, and it's good to see, like, even the Nintendo SNES Classic was getting some love that month for the month of April too. So that's awesome, man. We're rocking and rolling. We love video games. That's how it rolls.
Yeah, we do.
Woo.
That is it for me. Back to you, gentlemen.
Boy. Chris McCracken.
Yes. Well, we heard the speculation and the rumors and the information from leakers coming out that Black Ops 4 was not going to have a standard single-player story campaign.
That's right.
And last week, Treyarch came out and had their little reveal event for Black Ops 4, and turns out that was all true. They're not going to have a single-player story campaign. Instead, they're going to be focusing on zombies, multiplayer, and the brand new Battle Royale mode that they are introducing into the Call of Duty world called Blackout.
Ooh.
And so basically the way
smart.
that they're getting around this is they're saying, obviously they're the ones who created the whole zombies genre in terms of for Call of Duty. They were the first ones to have that mode. And way back when it was just like a little Easter egg mode that was just supposed to be like a one-off thing. And then it got so popular that they carried it on. And each time that Treyarch has done zombies,
so hot right after that too.
Exactly.
It's so hot right
Zombies
now.
are so hot right now.
Each time that Treyarch had done the zombie stuff, it was basically a big story. And a lot of people would go in and try and figure out all the crazy narrative because there are all these clues for things, and they would have some semblance of a story. So they're saying that they're just going to ratchet up the story elements of the zombie mode. They are going to introduce a way to play the zombie mode offline by yourself with AI companions, which, whatever, I guess that's fine. Yeah, and then they are going to introduce different story elements weaved into the multiplayer and basically built around these different specialist classes that they have that you can play within the multiplayer. And there's not really any information given out for the Blackout, the Battle Royale mode, other than the fact that it's going to be 100 players. And they talked a little bit about how there are going to be some vehicles that you can do, and a lot of the characters from which is kind of weird. The characters from a lot of the past single-player campaigns and zombie modes will be playable characters in here, or somehow weaved into some type of narrative. They didn't really give a ton of details. They made it very much clear that, look, we're going to give you more information on Blackout as we get a little bit closer to everything going. It's really just a tease. So I think Gabe and I are really the only ones that play, or probably the ones that play Call of Duty the most. I think each of the other guys, Ed and Tim, I think y'all played campaigns in the past. So what are y'all's thoughts on this information?
I think they're smart. I think they're catering to the people that play long term, and for people like me who would maybe play the campaign and then bounce, I'm totally fine with it. Especially if they're introducing a battle royale, which is so hot right now and ridiculously good looking. But it's like they're just really they're smart. They know their audience. They probably have all the data that says, well, like so many more people are playing the multiplayer and the zombie side of things than anything else. Let's keep doing that, and then let's introduce a battle royale mode, and that they're going to do just fine. I don't think that's going to. It could be super successful, more so than previous. So who knows? But that's fine. I think that was probably a smart move. Why put all that time and effort into a campaign where the majority
of 7% of the people play it?
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't
know if the number's actually 7. I'm just making it up. But
it's got to be. You have to, and I feel like they put out some statistic, or somebody did, about how many actually have. I don't remember what it was, but you've got to believe that if they thought, hey, single player is our money maker, that's where they'd be spending their efforts. You know what I mean?
Right,
so they have to have data that shows, look, there's going to be the internet outrage over this, but at the end of the day, it's not going to matter because this is where people spend their time. I mean, I am definitely one of those people. I did play the World War II campaign because I'm a big nerd when it comes to World War II related stuff. I really like that.
That made sense. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
But outside of that one, the last campaign for Call of Duty that I played was Black Ops 1. And I didn't even really like it, which I know is weird because so many people really dug that one. But I feel like I said it on the show previously, but I had mentioned, at least on Twitter, if not on the show, that I feel like Call of Duty should have done this 3 or 4 games ago. But I will say, if they're finally going to go ahead and pull the trigger, it probably makes the most sense to do it with the Black Ops series, only because that's probably, ever since Infinity Ward imploded and became kind of like a ghost version of what it was in the past, they've kind of been the darling developer of the Call of Duty series, and Black Ops has definitely been the most popular. Not only on the single-player campaign side has been popular, but the multiplayer side in particular, people just love the Black Ops series. So I feel like this is probably the best one. And the fact that they're the originators of the zombie stuff for the Call of Duty side makes sense that they'd be the ones to really dial up zombies to, the nth degree and make it even more narrative stuff to it and more for people to find, since it's going to be one of the main, like, the pillars of this game.
I just don't. I'm kind of disappointed that it's almost so blatantly bandwagon jumping.
I know, yeah.
And I'm
just for the battle royale part in particular.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think in the long run, they're listening to their audience, and developers that do that. I mean, Blizzard is probably the cream of the crop when it comes to listening to their audience, knowing what their audience and what their players want to play, and just continually pushing that. And you know what? Let them have it. I mean, the battle royale thing, it's not going away. It's hugely popular. Why wouldn't you do this for one of the one of the largest franchises in video games? So,
I'll tell you what, it's going to be nice to play a battle royale with Call of Duty controls.
I know that honestly, that perks my ears up and gets my interest like going way more than anything. Is like, well, and they even mentioned it in the reveal. They said a battle royale mode, the Black Ops way, with our really refined control scheme, and it's like, yeah, I mean, you got to hand it to them.
Yeah,
exactly.
they can
Every game hang their hat on that all day long.
Call of Duty. Yeah,
watch out, man. They're gonna crush this. They really are, because
it might be really fun. You're right.
Yeah,
and the one difference is that this will be complete. I'm assuming is going to be completely first person, whereas the other. Most of the other ones, if they have first person, it's just a mode you go into real quick and then you can hop out of it. So I'm definitely curious about it. I really want to see more as the stuff about Blackout? I keep wanting to call it Black Zone.
I love that name. I think that's a great name.
Yeah, I do think it's a good name. And I definitely see where you're coming from, Ed. And I know it's gonna end up being this year in particular a big eye roll moment, how much we're probably going to see this whole battle royale stuff. But I do feel like out of all of the
Farmville Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I do feel like out of all of them, Call of Duty given a shot, Call of Duty and I guess, and really Battlefield as well, I feel like they make sense to give it a shot. You know, everybody else, I feel like it's probably just a bandwagon and trying to figure out if they can get some gold out of this gold rush. But those two in particular, I feel like it makes sense for them to give it a go.
And they're going to do it right, man. I know they will. I think this is going to go off like gangbusters for them.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? See. I mean, it may move to where like Black Ops just continues going. I mean, I know they have 3 other studios, and I'm sure they'll still release other Call of Duties. But I mean, could you see if something weird like a Black Ops spinoff where it's just the battle royale that constantly just always happens, just like Fortnite and everything else? That'd be crazy. I don't know.
It's going to happen, man.
It'll be interesting to see where it goes.
It will.
Yeah. Nintendo has filed a new trademark for the N64. And so people are thinking, oh, here comes the N64 Classic, because it includes information on game software, controllers, and the console. Obviously, they're not making another big Nintendo 64. But obviously with the huge success of the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, which, by the way, they are still bringing the NES Classic back this summer in July, I think. That's going to be hitting the stores again. And the NES Classic, they're the SNES Classic, they're bringing both back this summer. But it looks like they got plans to do the N64 one. Now, Chris, I know that you were a little over it.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be one you would get, or would you be over this one as well?
I mean, I'll wait and see what games are on it, but I didn't have like a huge love affair with the N64 when I had it. I mean, I really played a ton of GoldenEye. That's probably the game out of them all, out of everything that I can remember.
That has to be on there, right? That's got to be on there.
Well, but here's the thing. Even if it is, I've heard...
I know it's not Nintendo.
But I've heard consistently from tons and tons and tons of people, even people who really love, N64 and Nintendo in general, that have gone back and played that game, like, that game does not hold up.
Oh,
so
really?
I don't feel like that game would make me buy this. It would have to depend on what else is on it. And because I was not a huge fan of Mario 64. I know tons and tons of people love it. And I appreciate it and what it was doing for its time and everything. But I never, even back when it came out, I was just like, okay.
You know, it's funny, I never played it.
Wasn't it baked in with the N64? Did you not have an N64?
No, my brother had an N64 in his room. And I, was kind of rocking the PC and PS1 at the time. Oh, well, I guess PS1 was a little bit after, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit after. Timeline, but honestly, the thing that I do remember running around and kind of flying a bit and thinking that was kind of fun. Not really flying, but somewhat, and then climbing up as high as I could go. I didn't really play the game at all because I didn't care. And the thing that I remember having the most fun with was at this one screen, Mario's face is on the screen, and you could grab you could pull his ear in and hold it there, and his other ear, and then pull his eyeball up and stretch his face all around and make these goofy faces. I remember spending more time doing that than playing the game, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I think too, I was kind of a Saturn Dreamcast guy, you know what I'm saying? And so I think I was too busy probably playing the Saturn, and one of my neighbors had Sega CD, so we played that for a long time after they weren't really making any games for that anymore.
Yeah.
So it kind of just all overlapped there.
So I mean, just like with the other ones, I'll definitely take a look and see what games are going to be on it. But
is there a game that would swing you?
I honestly don't even remember much of what the N64's catalog is. I'd have to see something and be like, oh yeah, I remember that game and I loved it. I can't even think of something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. What else you got?
Let's see here. Okay, so when this came across, now I had not heard any of the rumblings about this, if there were rumblings indeed. But and I don't even know for sure if this has been completely confirmed, but it looks like Best Buy is ending the Gamers Club Unlocked program.
Yeah, man.
It's over. It's over.
They did officially say,
you can't even search for it on the website anymore.
Oh, really? Because
Wow.
this article that I had said that it had been basically, there was a leaked email that went around that was supposedly an internal Best Buy memo that was saying Gamers Club Unlock is going to go away. And while they wouldn't, at the time of this article, anyways, they couldn't get any information from Best Buy. You could go to the Gamer Club Unlocked page and you could see that it was there, but new members could not sign up, and it seemed to be no way that if you were a current member that you could add more onto your subscription. It basically was just existing to let you know what the service was and to say, hey, we will honor your membership up until it expires. And I think it originally came at like $100 price tag, and then it was dropped to $29.99 in March of 2015.
It was $30.
And then that ended up causing Amazon to kind of match them on that. And as far as I can tell, Amazon's still offering the version of this kind of service on their end. But yeah, this is going away. And I know Gabe was part of. Were all three of you guys part of it?
Yeah,
No.
I was.
I bought it for Tim and Tim for Christmas one year.
Yep, and I've continued it ever since.
Or did
So
you do
yeah,
it, Ed?
No, I never did.
So Tim, do you know how much longer you have on yours, or is it all over, you think?
No, you know what? I'm going to have to check, but it looks like it's Amazon for me now.
Yeah, mine goes through, mine expires February of next year.
Yeah, I think I got like the 2-year one, so I'll have to double check. I mean,
It only came in
we'll
2
just-
years, yeah.
My understanding, though, was that it did stack. So if you had bought other years, you could stack them, kind of like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody post on Twitter, and again, maybe it was fake, but they seemed like they were genuine, like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I have this. And it showed theirs all the way extended till 2027. I was like, oh my gosh.
wow.
I wonder if that's
What the
legit.
heck?
That would be
'Cause I'm-
incredible.
I know.
I mean, it's the best deal in gaming. I mean,
Yeah,
it really
by
is.
far, the fact that you get 20% off. Because what I think the big difference between this and Amazon, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I actually don't know about Amazon's side, but I thought Amazon's was only brand new games.
I believe that's right. Just pre-orders.
So Best Buy was just new games. So if it's in Saran wrap, it's 20% off. So even if it goes on sale, like a game's $39.99, you still get the 20% off on top of that because it's not out of the Saran wrap. And then if it was a used game, you got 10% off. And so it was just
Which,
like,
you've got to think, so, okay, the first thing place my head goes is that, okay, they didn't have enough subscribers at the low price that it cost to make it worthwhile to where they were reaping their return on investment. So it's like, well, why not just tweak the program? Of course, you're going to get pushback, but I mean, at least they still have something. I'm curious why they're just outright
Prime
killing
goes
it.
up every couple of years. Netflix has gone up in price every couple of years. I think they did a bad job of marketing it. I don't think people knew it existed.
They didn't market it. Nobody really knew. I don't think a lot of people know
I told
about it.
gamers constantly about it.
Yeah, we did too.
And even think about this. We have a video game podcast, and I had to buy it for the other two hosts.
That's right. At the time,
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? We buy video games for a living.
But now, like, that was, once that happened, that was my way of purchasing my games.
Yep.
That's always been the way. So now I got to change it up.
Yep. I've got till February next year for something else to show up.
So if they don't introduce some program to replace it, like what are y'all's plan? Like, what do y'all plan to do now?
I mean, it'll be
Amazon.
a mix of the Amazon if they do the 20% off and just, all out and out digital.
What about you, Tim? Because I know you like to go day of and go pick up your thing, but if you're doing Amazon, it's just delivery.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you know what though? I haven't in recent, like, I didn't pick up God of War for like a week. So if it comes in the mail 1 or 2 days later, I'm fine with that at this point. Like,
Depends on the excitement level.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because that preload is sexy. I've never done it before, but it seemed like the people that do it, they love it.
For me, it's just
Yeah,
storage.
it is, baby.
It's just a
Bring on that
storage issue.
preload. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Especially when it's like launching at the same time all around the world. I'm like, ooh, it's only 10 o'clock. I'm going to get going.
Yeah, man. I'm sad to see Gamers Club Unlocked go, but I just have to just say they did a terrible job. Terrible job of promoting that. Like, why they didn't just have full out commercials about that, I have no idea. Because it seems like deal. Yeah, well, I mean, now I don't know how it makes sense financially. How I give you $30 for 2 years and you take off $12 of every video game I buy. You know what I'm saying? But maybe Best Buy, because they buy in such huge bulk, maybe they get games for super cheap, like down in the 30s. I just can't imagine that they do, but that's the only way that could work.
They count on people not buying a game more than a couple times a year, like just grabbing everyone.
I know, but they should have made it $30 for a year if that's the case. But for 2 years,
right.
Yeah, it's $15 a year. You've almost made your money back on the first game you buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Well, I'm gonna miss you, Gamers Unlocked.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be my final Black History Month thing next year.
Yeah, right. Happy Black History Month.
Yeah. So we've joked and talked about and given Paladins a hard time for cloning everything.
Yes.
Well, they've got a mobile game coming out called Paladins Strike. Man.
They're just an Overwatch clone.
Yeah. No, they're not. Oh, wait. Yes, they are. And so their like launch picture for it is literally the background is Lijiang Tower. How you say it? Lijiang?
Yeah. You said it right.
Lijiang Tower from Overwatch.
Yes, it is.
It's the exact loading screen for when you go play Lijiang Tower, just with their character on top of it. And they've had to come out and be like, listen, we hired a third-party guy to do it. We didn't even...
Wow.
Nothing. Look over here. So
that's
it just sucks because they're already compared to Overwatch. And how this... I can see how it could slip through the cracks. I mean, I guess it's easy. But, like, if anybody with a keen eye, man, is like, oh, that's Lijiang Tower. That's... I mean, they didn't try to change the buildings. They didn't take the blimp out of the air that's got a big picture on it. It's just crazy that they just smacked their guy on the front. I was like, yeah, go ahead, put it up for the mobile game.
That's so funny.
Isn't that crazy?
Paladin watch.
I know, right?
It's just funny that they already get that comparison.
Yeah.
And then here they go.
It's just funny that they say it was an outside company that did it, but it's still Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, exactly. You should have known. But I mean, I guess it's easy to, I don't know. It just bummed me out.
Just copy another background?
Yeah. I was just like, the hits just keep coming for these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they put themselves in these situations. I mean, come on now.
Right.
The game is free. So I guess
I mean,
you get
good
what you
on
pay
them for I think technically it's still in early access.
Really?
If I remember right. Yeah, I don't think it's actually released yet.
I don't like this trend, by the way. If this starts up, like where people can be like, well, yeah, it's beta still, guys. You're like, really? For like 5 years it's beta?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
What's up, PUBG?
Well, but it's only, I guess it's only
PUBG.
Technically still early access on Xbox, I think, at the moment.
Yeah, out on PlayStation, on the PC.
Yeah. But
That
still,
and
it was
Live
like
one.
2 years or something.
Yeah. I still agree with Ed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it was so ridiculous. And they were like, oh, it's considered for Game of the Year. That game's not even really out yet. What are you talking about? Makes no sense.
So funny.
I agree. What else you got, Christopher?
So this one, it's a really short story, but I just thought it was kind of like what do you know? It looks like Resident Evil 7 is coming to the Nintendo Switch in Japan only, at least currently.
Yeah, that's weird.
And it's going to be only a 45 megabyte game install because the game's actually just going to be streaming to the Switch. It's not going to actually be on the Switch.
That is weird.
Now they're selling it for only $20, so I guess that's great. But which I don't know I know the game's a bit old, so maybe it only sells for that on the other platforms right now as well. But it's like, So I wonder if this is going to come to the US this way, and two, do you feel like that's going to work? I mean, I know a lot of people play the Switch docked, but to me, I always just view it in my brain as a handheld console.
That's right.
So leaning on a Wi-Fi signal strong enough to stream this game,
freaking thank you.
Come on, when has that ever gone wrong?
Oh, wait. Exactly.
I mean, and I've had some success with remote play with the Vita, but even I'm like, but I don't want to rely on my only way to play a game is like this.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. I don't want this to be a thing, even kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like for me now. Take this for what it's worth. Why the Switch is perfect for Gabe is because I travel for a living.
Right.
And with
Makes perfect
traveling
sense.
for a living, one of the reasons I hate being heroin addicted to Clash Royale is because not everywhere I go, my internet is good.
Yes.
And so as bad as I want to play Clash, I can't always play it. And so this would be the same exact thing. Like if they start opening up where they're doing a lot of streaming and like, oh, this game's coming out, it's not really on the thing, but you stream it, that will not work for your boy, even a little bit. Ugh.
Well, you and then everybody that has long commutes too to work. That's like the Switch is born for that, basically.
Yeah. I don't feel like this will become a thing where like tons of games are doing it, but I could definitely see if this works, it has some type of moderate success, or at least in Capcom's eyes, that maybe a couple more of their bigger games, and then maybe a few Ubisoft games that are like, well, we can't really put this game on the Switch because it can't handle it, but we could stream it, kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying.
For the bigger things. I mean, I don't think your golf stories and what else are probably going to be perfectly fine being physically on the Switch with the cartridge and whatnot. But I mean, it'll be curious to see. And it makes me wonder, like, because it's only coming out in Japan, at least to start, if they're just testing the waters or if it's just some weird staggered rollout or what.
Little soft launch.
Yeah.
Right.
As they do. Mm-hmm. Scuff Gaming, who's known for making all kind of like controllers for different people, are coming out with the first Sony licensed third-party controller for the PS4. And it's called Scuff Vantage. And it's very akin, just looking at it, to the controller that the Xbox had come out, the Xbox One.
Right.
Where you can like change all the things in it, and it's got
the
buttons
controller
all over the place. Yeah, the Elite controller. And here's my only problem. Well, number one, I'm not into that kind of thing. Number two, this thing starts at $170.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's for the wired version.
And exactly. That's what I'm saying. Starts there with a wired version. Then the Bluetooth model starts at $200, and that's without the customization on it. That means the price goes up from there. I'm not going to be that
much better at Overwatch than I am now. I don't need
You're not going to be $200 worth better.
No.
That's for Shigginoff.
Wow.
For what?
For Shigginoff.
Okay, all right, cool. I'm going to say that tomorrow at work. Man, for real, that's for Shigginoff. What?
Well, you don't need to say that for real, that's for Shigginoff. Just, that's for Shigginoff, yeah.
That's for Shigginoff.
Yeah. It would be redundant at that point.
That's beef stroganoff. What? I don't know. So
Chris,
here's the...
You ever use one of these things?
Here's kind of my thoughts on it. Number one, there actually were two other officially licensed pro controllers, air quotes here, that were released. I don't think they were officially released stateside. They were only in the UK and then I think Japan. One from Razer and one from another brand like Nyko or something like that. Both of them were wired versions. So this one on the US side, one thing that I do like, so I in theory anyways, really love the idea of the Xbox Elite controller. Specifically what I love is that it's made by Microsoft. So it's an officially branded, warranty part of the system that you can get. Their controller, I believe, brand new, and maybe even still to this day, I think was 150.
Yeah.
Offers a lot of the same features, not exactly the same features. There are things that the Scuff offers that, go a bit above and beyond, and more so in the terms of like the customization side, like skins and colors and all that kinds of stuff that you can do. And then Scuff in general has always been an expensive controller, even the ones that they sell just for their own that are modified, either Xbox One or PlayStation 4 controllers, because they sell those. What I do really like is that Scuff is a big name in the customized controller area. Like they in my opinion, and someone can oops me if I'm wrong on this, but I only ever knew about Scuff until the Elite came out. And then I was like, okay, like there was other ones like a Razer controller that might do some weird, crazy stuff, but Scuff has pretty much universally been looked at as the brand to do these types of controllers. So when Sony officially partnered with Scuff, I was like, okay, at least they're showing, because when they came out with the other ones, I was like, oh, you're just kind of half baking this, because you're not even really doing it yourself. It's like, well, if you're not going to do it yourself under your own brand completely, the best partner, in my opinion, you could have is Scuff. Now, for me, I have always been like, man, I kind of would like to get one of these controllers that does this thing. Same with the Xbox Elite controller. The reason that I don't ever do it is because, and I don't know if it's got to be just the way that I play, especially because I play a lot of first-person games, but I wear my controllers out.
Me
like
too,
I
baby.
am hard on my, and I don't mean like I'm banging them around. I just mean the buttons get worn out, the analog sticks wear down, all this stuff jacks up. So if I'm spending anywhere from $150 to $200 for a controller,
Lord,
and even if it lasts me a year, if I got to buy another one, that is a bad, not a good situation for your boy to be in. And on top of that, let's say that I buy one, for Shigginoff, for beef stroganoff, right? And let's say I even get a year out of it, and it something craps out on it, and it's out of warranty, and I got to buy a new one. Woo. It's like, okay, if I decide I can't spend that money right now, so I got to go back to the PlayStation controller, or if it were on the Elite side on the Xbox controller, and I'm so afraid of making it to where I can't use this regular controller now. I've made it to where I know how to use these other ones, and that's it. I don't want to mess myself up like that. So that's the reason that I've never done it. And partly because, like, as much as I'm sure it would definitely help, especially like with Call of Duty and first person games in particular, the ability to be able to run or to crouch or whatever with those paddles on the back, and how that could definitely be useful so you don't have to take your thumbs off the sticks. I can't justify the cost, and I don't feel like it's going to do enough to make me that much better to where it's like, okay, it's worth it.
Right. I'd want to be like, oh, I was kind of like a bicycle, and now I'm a motorcycle. And I just don't see that happening. Number one, I'm old. And so like learning anything new, like if running was now the back of the controller where I don't press anything on the back of the controller now, I think just for my brain, I'd be like, yeah. And I'm a little bit like Chris, like I don't want to get to a point where I can't go to my buddy's house and play and be like, sorry, I'm used to the buttons on the back.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I hate that. Just excuses like that. Ugh.
And for this one in particular, and I understand that this is just me, but there's also a lot of people, even in our community, that feel the same way as me. I am not an offset staggered stick person. I do not like at all that this officially licensed controller offsets the analog sticks and gives me a weird, goofy Xbox D-pad, because the PS4 D-pad is way better, and I like my sticks symmetrical because that's how my hands are. So even though I can use the Xbox One controller, and I think the X1 controller is way better than the 360 controller, I enjoy it way better, I am always going to prefer analog sticks that are right next to each other because that just makes sense to my brain.
One of your thumbs isn't higher than the other?
No, it's not. One does not come out next to my pointer finger. I'm sorry. That's not how my hands are. I'm not judging if yours are. I'm glad they make a controller
What's weird
for
is
you.
that I never felt the difference that, like, I never noticed they were offset until someone pointed it out maybe a couple months ago. And I was like, I guess they are.
I'm not exactly sure. It could be slightly because the body shape changed just a bit, but also the Xbox One, the analog sticks are a little bit taller, which is part of the reason why I put Xbox One sticks on my PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 controllers. But the 360, when I would play it, my hand would cramp like crazy. My left hand would. I couldn't play it for very long. A first-person game where I'm getting real intense, like I was saying before, how I get real intense when I'm playing. But with the Xbox One, I've never had a hand cramp issue, but even still, I just prefer my thumbs being next to each other. It just makes more sense to my brain. And I don't like the Xbox One D-pad, even though it's improved over 360. And from this SCUF controller, the D-pad looks like an Xbox One D-pad. And I don't. It's like I'm not spending $160, $200 to be like, well, this is okie dokies. No, it better blow my socks off, and it better never die ever.
And it better be it should be comfortable.
It needs to make me breakfast.
Exactly.
And make me some beef stroganoff.
I'm definitely not paying $170 to be wired to the console.
Oh yeah,
man.
I mean, come on now.
Come on now. Especially when the Xbox One Microsoft made one is $150.
Yeah.
Come on now. SCUF.
I do like out of all the controller SCUFs ever made, this one seems the most customizable and all the pieces. It looks like they went to the wall with it. And so kudos to them. And to anybody who gets one, I'm sure you're going to love it. But for me,
from the window to the wall.
I'm just not going to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you on that. What else you got, Christopher?
That was actually my last story.
That was my story.
One. I know, but it's the one I had queued up, and then you said it. I was like, oh, well, I'm done.
Guess I'm finished. I have to throw this in there only because I'm that guy. But it's a little leaky, so it's just rumor town right now. But they think that they're going to reveal that Soul Calibur 6 is going to have 3 prominent characters from Final Fantasy VII in it. Cloud, Tifa, and Sephiroth. And I will take it. I won't be playing the game, but I'll watch other people play it. And people are kind of backing up this rumor. They're like, hey, E3's coming, so it would make sense. And you want to get the ball rolling on people talking about Final Fantasy, period, so they can announce that it's coming out in 7 years. And so they just want to.
And so what? I mean, I've heard the name, but I don't even know what is Soul Calibur. Is it a fighting game?
Soul Calibur was a fighting game. Yeah, it was on the.
Okay.
I played it a bunch on the Dreamcast. Maybe it was one of those. It was one of those games that looked like really good for its time.
Yes. Yeah.
But it was at the time of Mortal Kombat as well, so it kind of like got buried. But I feel like a lot of people played it. I think it was console only. I don't know. Was Soul Calibur in the arcade? I don't think it was.
This is one of those games where I've heard that name a lot, but I never knew exactly what it was. So
yes, yeah. Okay, I played a lot of Soul Calibur in my youth, and so it's cool for me to see Final Fantasy coming over to Soul Calibur. And I guess it's not too weird because Square Enix and Namco have already teamed up before. They had a DLC for Tekken 7 that had Noctis in it from Final Fantasy 15. So it doesn't make it too weird. And that's it for me. Eduardo!
Yes, Gabriel.
Tell me what's going on the YouTube channel, baby.
Tell us about the videos.
For Shigginoff.
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 And the hate is gonna hate. Looking at the top 10 YouTube videos, combining the average watch time and views for the week of May 15th to the 21st. Number 10, Watch Dogs 2 Part 6, bottom dollar complete.
Steady.
Number 9, Hue Part 7, Yellow.
It was all yellow. I feel like I think that every time.
Number 8, Hue Part 4, Pink. Number 7, Ori and the Blind Forest Part 14, Thornfell Swamp. Number 6, Watch Dogs 2 Part 48, Ghost Signals. Number 5, Gabe and Chris react to The Last of Us Part 2.
Ooh, crank up that hype machine, baby.
Number 4, Hue Part 10, University. Number 3, Watch Dogs 2 Part 19, Paint Job.
That's right.
Number 2, Tumblestone World 1.
What?
I don't know. Was it free that? Was it free somewhere?
Did we get hacked?
I didn't know that was on our channel.
I played it back when we were still in Pennsylvania. I think maybe 2 or 3 videos.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I have no idea what's going on with Tumblestone right now.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Korea, I guess.
I know.
Tumblestone is I think Tumblestone. Where'd you play it on?
Somewhere? I played it on Xbox.
Ooh, I want to say
That was my favorite one to see Thanos get for the gauntlet was the tumblestone.
That was really good.
Oh Lord!
He just could do all these mad somersaults. He can bowl them over
from side to side.
That's the setting he uses on his dryer when he washes his rings. Right. He puts it on tumblestone.
Right. Puts it on tumblestone.
Let me just plug in the tumblestone here. And
Lord have mercy.
Gotta have my dryer sheets. Don't need any static.
And number 1, Hugh Part 11, the ending.
Cheaters.
I still don't know. I know.
So I knew that this sounded familiar. Tumblestone is part of the Humble Bundle right now.
Okay.
And it's the Humble Bundle that supports Extra Life.
Oh, very nice.
Sweet. All
they
right.
happened to send out an email today, and I went and looked at it, and I was like, oh, I've never heard of any of these games. But one of them was Tumblestone. And so when you mentioned that, I was like, oh, yeah, that was something from something.
Look at that.
Today. Mm-hmm.
The power of the email blast.
Mm-hmm. For Shiggy.
Yes.
Looking over at iTunes, we got a couple new reviews.
No way. Did we really?
Yeah, bring it.
1 star.
To rule them all.
Yeah.
This one is by I Love Lunacy. And the heading is Great Gaming Podcast with a Great Group of Guys.
Oh,
that's a lot of G's.
I know, right? I like it. Alliteration. It says, one of my favorite gaming podcasts. They talk games and life and games. Subscribe now, Thornfelt Swamp.
Yay!
And then there's another one.
I'm glad
here.
I did that shout out today then.
I know, right?
I mean, should we do it for old time's sake, just since it was in a review?
Well, yeah.
Well, who's gonna? How we gonna want? We gonna 1, 2, 3 mark it?
Ed's got to set us up.
Okay.
All right. Ori and the Blind Forest, Part 14.
Thornfelt Swamp.
Suckers.
Oh man!
All right.
All right, and that's it. That's it for the rest of the year.
There's one from Blackula 98.
Yes,
with the heading
like
"Great Family-Oriented Video Game Podcast."
No.
Says
Gabe,
growing
that's
up.
your new Halloween name. I love that. I love that handle. That's great. Oh,
they say, growing up a lover of video games and sports, I only really played sports video games like Madden and NBA 2K.
Mm-hmm.
This podcast has opened my eyes to games that I would have never considered playing. Games like The Last of Us, Shadow of Mordor, and many more. I've listened to these guys from the very beginning and looked to it as my go-to video games news channel.
Whoa!
I love this podcast
Nice.
and the guys hosting it. Keep up the great work, guys.
Oh,
yeah,
Cool.
man.
Thank you
Come
guys for
on.
reviewing.
Happy
I
Black
love it.
History Month.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. They might not even be black. It's just in their name. You know what I mean?
Happy Blackula month.
Yeah,
I
happy
know, right?
Blackula
That's
History
awesome.
Month.
Blackula
so cool.
History Month.
I love that.
That is really kind.
There's
Awesome.
one more
That is amazing.
from Tristram Shandy.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
difficult.
Ooh.
The heading is "Do Yourself a Favor."
Ooh.
1
And-
star.
And unsubscribe.
The entire review is written. Every word is its own sentence. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
a bunch of periods.
Oh,
Like
yes.
Nice.
So the review simply reads: "Dope as shiz, long live cauliflower and red wine."
Yes!
I love that.
There we go.
That's a
Nice.
great review. Was this review
I-
helpful? I'm clicking yes.
Yes, it was
Yeah,
very
absolutely.
helpful.
Yes, it
You
was.
Bet your sweet buns it is. Yes.
Long live
I
cauliflower
love
and red
that.
wine.
Love
Oh,
that. Thank
shoot.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was a good
Thank you.
one.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
that.
Tristram
That is
Shandy.
amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
That is great. Man, I'm feeling the love. Y'all feeling the love?
No, that's so cool.
Oh,
I
man.
love
I
that.
am.
Why did we not do this earlier?
My cup runneth over.
Seriously.
Oh, so great.
I love it. Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was no different. We asked you, when you don't know how you're gonna feel about a game, what's a good old college try for you?
Mm.
And I did do a fist pump just then.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know if you could hear it coming through the speakers.
Oh yeah.
It's a snap, too. It's like, pop.
Exactly. Just a reminder to anybody thinking of running for any kind of office, don't do that because they will not vote for you, Especially if you give out that old, yeah! Who did that happen to? That happened to somebody. He was like, yeah! And he was like winning it.
Howard Dean.
Oh, what's his name? Howard Dean.
Lil
That's
Jon?
right. Good old. Well, that too.
Was that his name, Howard Dean? No, I feel like that's wrong.
I don't know.
No, you're right.
All right.
Really?
Starting over on the Discord. I don't know how we would Google that. Guy who fist pumped politician lost, but was winning.
Yeah, I think you're right, Chris.
Enter.
Yeah, the scream that doomed Howard Dean.
Look at
Hey,
that.
there it
Good
is.
memory. God,
Way to go
guys.
with the
Well
White House.
Nice.
Yeah. I remember that.
People
Yeah.
did not like that, and he was winning. That's
Yeah.
weird.
And then it
In the polls,
plummeted
at least
from
in
there.
the polls. You know, you can say whatever in the polls. Okay, MLS Chop over on Discord. I've learned a lesson on. This is going back to how long you give a game. All right. I've learned a lesson on PS3 to give a game at least 2 hours. When I first got the console, I got Uncharted as a Christmas gift. I played it for an hour and it didn't do it for me, so it sat on the shelf. When I heard a sequel was being made, I thought, really? Did I miss something? I popped it in, started over, and something clicked after around the 2 hour mark. Yeah, that's a good lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on that Uncharted.
That's right, man.
Mr. Ham, 3 hours, 8 minutes, and 46 seconds.
Oh boy.
It is pi represented in hours, and since circles are perfect, that's the perfect time. I'm just kidding. I don't have a set time to be considered a real time, but I do operate in threes. If I've tried a game 3 separate times and still don't want to play, I'm done and feel no
You're
guilt,
out.
shame about it.
There
Nor
you go.
should you. Yep.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thimble Black, who does not celebrate Black History Month. I've met him. He lives in Utah, if that tells you anything.
His store stays open.
Yeah. There's like 3 of us up there. Thimble Black, my rule is I finish every game I purchase. You never know when the game might turn on its head and you start to love it.
That's pretty commendable.
That's
That is-
dedication.
Yeah. Or you're broke. And you're like, well,
That's right.
I have it. So
Well, I got
better
this
play
game.
it.
Might as well.
Yeah.
Over on Facebook, we've got Kevin Miller Jr. I got to be honest. I've quit playing a game after as little as 10 minutes. The games that I did quit that early were normally the free games we get from either Xbox One or PS4.
Yeah.
That's
That
fair.
sounds about right.
That's
Yep.
good.
Kenneth Cully, this one depends. I've dropped games like a hot stone after just a few minutes, especially when the combat has been a plodding bore. I don't mind action in games, but if it can't be avoided, it needs to be fun. For other games, I can usually tell if I'm going to like the story within about an hour and often less than that. But there have been a few times where I've needed a few sessions to really figure out that I didn't care for a game after all. I know, right? Brendan Myers, 5 hours, but I did just stop playing Skyrim after 120 hours
There you go.
because, man, those glitches.
Oh,
Oh,
dang.
yeah.
Eric
Absolutely.
Thompson asked, what platform were you playing on? And he says, on the Switch. So I guess Skyrim on the Switch is a little bit glitchy. That almost rhymes. I like that.
Yeah, you got that, man.
Over on Twitter, at Coach Hulk. For me, it's 10 hours.
Wow.
Wow.
That means you would have beaten the Order 1886 like 7 times.
Exactly.
At the
Wow.
10 hour
I
mark.
still love that game.
Yeah. At the 10 hour mark, I've given you all I had. If at 10 hours I'm not hooked, you're getting traded in.
Sayonara.
Shoot, after 10 hours, sounds like you got your money's worth anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
You got the platinum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, a name we haven't seen in a long time. At Jamin Bassett,
Hey, welcome back.
Korea stand up.
Where have you been?
I give 3 sessions, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, depending on workload. That sounds like a lot, but some of my favorite games of all time, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Metal Gear, etc., take a few hours to get to the hooks that people love.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And lastly, animal_UTD at Alex_KY87. I'll give it a few hours. Ain't no one got time for a bad game.
Amen.
Yep.
Side note, heard a good dad joke Chris may like.
Oh.
I was on the toilet, angry, and late for work. I thought to myself, I don't have time for this crap.
Hey. Hey.
I don't have time for this crap. You get he's on the toilet.
I like that.
Funny.
That was good.
That is
That's
good.
a good one.
Thanks, Animal.
Yeah,
for writing
man.
in. Oh my gosh. You guys know where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games. Come join the group. People are talking over there. It's the new forum, really. I love it.
Yes.
And I think already more people are on this group than were on the forum.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
All at once, at least.
Right,
Yes,
right.
definitely.
Where else? Twitter.com/MTTGcast. MarriedToTheGames.com. Come check out the shop. We got a mug on there, and we're about to add phone cases.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. So we can protect your phone when you drop it. And you're like, oh no. Oh, thank God for Married to the Games.
We will be
There
your
you go.
protectors.
Exactly. Like Ed said, youtube.com/Married to the Games, and now on Patreon at patreon.com/MTTG. If you'd like to support the show, you start the low price of $1 a month. And we really appreciate it. I know you're thinking $1
Yeah, we do.
a month. You appreciate that? And the answer is heck yeah, we do. And
Yes.
plus, you get in this doggone Discord,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the Forum 2.0. So good in there.
Yeah.
And if you want to come join the Extra Life crew, extra-life.org/team/MTTG. Let's raise some money for the kids later on this year. We want to keep pumping that because it is important. Cancer has touched so many lives, and we are down to smack this thing in the mouth.
Bam.
Yes.
Mm.
Hit it.
Right? And
Tell him, Gabe.
Edward.
Rate us on iTunes, subscribe, leave a comment, or Shigginoff.
That's
Yay.
right.
Nice.
Oh,
Perfect.
Shiggy. Well,
Shiggy.
let's get into some questions.
All right, we're going to start on Discord and we're going to start
Oh,
with
man.
Chalfie. Here we
Laughing
go.
already.
Have you ever given or been the recipient of a Dutch oven? That's how we're going to start the
man.
questions, people.
I actually have not.
No, I haven't either.
On either end.
Absolutely.
You know, I didn't.
Absolutely.
For those that don't know what a Dutch oven is, it's when you're in bed with somebody and you fart and you take the covers and you put them all the way over your head, right?
Over their head.
Over. Oh,
Yep.
is it just their head?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Oh,
could
see,
do your
I'm
own.
short, so it'd be both of our heads, probably. I didn't even pass gas in front of my wife for like the first 5 years of our marriage.
Mm.
I don't like
Man.
farting in front of people. I don't
No,
like
I
it at
don't
all.
either.
Still.
We have competitions in our house
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
why would you do that to someone you love?
because we love them.
Oh,
I love all of them.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of popping gas in front of people. Ugh.
nah,
Oh man.
me either.
Well, we praise that over here at the Router Clan.
They love them inside and out.
Inside
Exactly.
and out, brother. Amen to that.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Chalfie. Appreciate that one. That's a little palate cleanser for everybody. Flexel, is there anything you guys look forward to that happens only once a year or longer? Have a great time during the event, but then the post-event blues set in.
Yeah, I can tell you what that is. That would be the centennial episodes of Married to the Games.
Heck yes.
Mhm.
Heck yes, it would be.
Every time that
last
I've gone,
time was
yeah.
real bad.
Oh, man.
After 200, I felt like I had to I felt like I was in postpartum depression.
Mhm.
That's right.
Isn't that weird?
My babies are gone.
It's such a high that when you come off of it, it's crazy what a low you get.
It was weird. I
Yeah.
was not expecting that almost 2 years ago. Like we
Mm-mm.
hung out and it was awesome. And then when it was over, I was like, I really want to be hanging back out.
Mhm.
Like this is
Yep.
the worst right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad we got 3 days this time. Every other time it's been like a day and a half. For those that stay the whole time, which there are some people staying until the 12th, we have 3 days of kicking it. It'll be awesome.
It will be glorious. B-Dog 1221, what's the first album you've ever purchased with your own money, and do you still love that album as an adult? For me, it was A Love Movement by Tribe Called Quest, and it's still one of my favorite albums ever. Wow, do I not totally agree with that one. That is faux show.
That's good taste for your first one.
Great record.
Nice.
That's a great record.
Man, I don't remember because we worked in the music business, so I could not even begin to tell you the first one I bought with my own money. That wasn't like a monumental thing, which I know that is for a lot of people. But my mom brought so many CDs home. Oh, man. I mean, I think all I can tell you is the first CD I fell in love with. And I think that had to have been 1996's The Score by the Fugees.
Of course.
Ed?
The Muppet movie soundtrack.
Oh,
and I still love it.
Of course.
So, real quick, just so when he says first album, like, what was the media that it was on that you guys bought?
That was a literal album.
Yeah, album. Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know it doesn't matter for the question, but I'm just curious what it is y'all bought.
Mine was a CD.
Gotcha.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? Oh, I love that. It's such a great album. I used to listen to the mess out of that too on my record player. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, I did.
It's all that was available.
Exactly. I don't remember my first.
The Sounds of Escaping Egypt.
Okay, great. Stick on Rock. That was the first album.
Sundial remastered.
Rock. Yes. Xylophone music by Moses.
You know what's funny? I would
let
listen
all of my friends go.
And they were literally all of my friends. I think I listened to the Star Wars soundtrack on record. Yeah. And it was awesome. Yeah,
That's
it was
awesome.
really, this was way, way back in the day. I don't remember if I clearly didn't buy that with my own money, but I'm with you, Gabe. Like I kind of like always had music around me, not because my parents were in the music industry or anything, but we just always had music.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm with you.
There you go.
Got everybody, Chris?
You didn't
The
go.
first album that I bought with my own money was on a cassette tape, and it was Metallica, the Black Album. And yes,
Oh my gosh.
it's
How old were you?
What a great
I don't
album.
remember how old I was. I had other tapes like that I'd gotten as gifts and stuff, but that was the first one I had purchased with my own money. I remember having my mom drive me to the CD cassette store, so that I could
Mom
buy
was cool
it.
with that.
Oh yeah, she was fine with that.
Well, that
Nice.
one, the Black Album did not have a parental advisory on it, didn't it? Did it?
I don't remember it having one.
I don't think
back
it
then
did. Because
anyways.
I remember when the parental advisory stickers started coming out, there were a couple other Metallica records that have it, but I think the Black Album was the first one that didn't. And again, that's probably why it was so popular too, because a lot of the younger.
Yeah, and in general, they're not huge cussing band in their songs.
No,
I mean, they
not at
definitely
all.
have language in their
Right.
songs, but in various albums and stuff. But they're not all over the place with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a great question. Thank you for that. All right, Mr. Ham, here we go. Bottom of the night, gents. Happy Bitcoin Pizza Day. Wait, what does that even mean?
Yeah,
How
what
about
does that mean?
Happy Buy a Musical Instrument Day? Seriously, who can afford that? Forget the holidays, so let's change it up. How about this? Did you know on this day in 1967, the Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood TV show premiered?
Whoa.
What were your favorite shows growing up as a kid? Sesame Street or other educational fun? Double Dare, Mr. Wizard and Nickelodeon, The Price is Right with your grandma, brainless cartoons like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, maybe some of T. Router's favorites, Shadow Puppets or flipping paper cards. Really, dude?
Shadow
You know
puppets.
Banned for a week. Banned for a week.
Ooh.
I have the power,
Router
sir,
comes
and
with
he
the bad
is.
hammer.
Nice. That's how you do it.
I have the power, and he is banned for a week.
That's right.
That's it.
We won't be hearing from him
That's
next
it.
week.
Oh,
Mess
we
with the
will.
bull, you get the horns, baby.
Get the horns. Oh my gosh. Ed, what you got?
Growing up, I loved Sesame Street and the Electric Company.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
Christopher?
I'm kind of most of those ones that he mentioned. I really like Sesame Street. I did watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but not a ton. I loved the Nickelodeon stuff, Double Dare and
yes,
whatnot.
sir.
I also really dug Price is Right and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and cartoons, X-Men cartoons, Thundercats, Master of the Universe, Batman, Batman the Animated Series. Woo.
That's what I'm saying. The Batman Animated Series was really good.
Yeah. Saturday morning cartoons, man. I would watch Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, Woody Woodpecker, all those, man. Those were Saturdays. I would just sit in front of that couch and just it was so great.
And
when Hanna-Barbera ruled the world.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, exactly.
And we didn't have. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, we didn't have it for very long because we usually didn't have cable or satellite in our house. But there for a while, we had, I think, a satellite dish, one of those big ones in the backyard. Right. And we would have the Disney Channel. And I would watch the mess out of Disney cartoons. Because I just knew, even at that age, I don't even remember what age I was, but I just knew this is not going to last. So I need to soak it all in.
That's funny. I was a big, I loved Thundercats. And I loved G.I. Joe.
Yep.
And I was a freak for a Goofy movie. I don't remember who bought it for me or whatever, but like I could sing you all those songs still. Like when I was in Disney, I almost bought like a Powerline t-shirt. That was like the concert that him and his dad were trying to go see was Powerline. That's funny. And they still sell Powerline tour shirts.
Oh, wow. Get out. That's hilarious.
I'm not saying it's a good movie. Let me just preface that. But like I loved a Goofy movie. I thought the soundtrack was awesome. Funny. Tevin Campbell was a big singer at the time, and he played Powerline.
No way! Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes, it was awesome. I liked it.
That's great. Oh, I love that. Yeah, man. And Transformers back in the day too.
Oh yes.
First generation Transformers was just so good.
So good. Yep. And I was a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood kid. I like that stuff. I like that stuff. Good question. Little memory lane action.
Yeah.
Oh, can I ask this? Just because we're talking about this, do you guys have a favorite theme song from back then? Like one favorite theme song that you remember from your childhood that you loved? Because I love theme songs. Can you think of any? I was partial to Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, I liked DuckTales.
Oh, yeah. Life is like a hurricane.
I love the Animaniacs intro. That was so good.
Animaniacs was awesome.
Yeah, Animaniacs was really good. I still blows my mind that, Ed, you didn't watch that. You need to see that.
I know. That's crazy.
I know. For some reason, I'm familiar with the theme song, but I never watched the show.
Animaniacs.
Zany to the max. What about you, Ed?
I like the Looney Tunes opening song. This is it. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
That was always
fun. I think
with the show.
My all-time favorite was the remake of The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. They use this whole symphony for the thing. Oh my gosh.
Wow, nice.
You need to listen to that. That thing is off. I'm going to find it for you guys and send you the link. It's so good.
All right.
While you're doing that, Facebook, Daniel High, with E3 fast approaching, which do you prefer to see? Popular franchises continue or new franchises introduced? I want both.
Yeah.
I want both.
You want your cake and eat it.
I want my cake and eat it too. And I think we will get both, to be honest.
Usually I'm a little bit of a nostalgia guy, but this year I'm feeling a little new IP. I want to fall in love with a new person and a new game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too, man.
When I saw the preview for, and I forget what it was called, the new Sucker Punch game.
Yeah,
Ghost of
what is
Setsuna or something?
like, what is this?
Yeah, Ghost.
There's just something so intriguing about something you just know nothing about.
Yeah.
I like being taken by surprise like that.
Yep.
I do love both, but I feel like new IP is more exciting unless the returning franchise is one that's been away for a while. Like when God of War returned, because everybody thought it was over. Everybody thought it was done. Kratos was dead. And when that like was such a loop to be thrown for but that's almost in a way like a new IP because it's kind of a reinvention, if you will. So I do like it when they returning ones, but I feel like new IP is even more exciting.
Yeah.
Or a long dormant series, I guess.
That's right.
Yep. Michael Johnston, I'm new to the podcast, and so to determine if I'll continue listening, I need to know: does pineapple go on pizza?
The answer is no, sir.
Yeah, I will help you out. The answer is no, and if that's not the answer you wanted to hear, then I hope the door doesn't hit you on the way out. Because we're not having no pineapple on a pizza.
The good thing is that I respectfully disagree. I love pineapple on pizza.
You love warm pineapple?
Why?
I do too.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
So see, we are split into decisions. So
Guess
give
you're
us one
sticking
more
around.
episode,
Yeah.
and we'll win you over. Here's the thing: pineapple with pepperoni. You get sweet with the salty. It is fan-freaking-tastic.
No, sir.
No.
So yeah,
I'm not having that.
Nope.
I don't like it.
Ed,
You know, I
did you give an
respectfully
answer,
disagree.
Ed says it goes on pizza.
Yeah,
Ed's
I
with
don't
me.
I don't want it on, like I don't have to have it on, but if it's on, sure, I'll have some.
You're fine with it.
Like
Yeah,
if somebody only had pineapple pizza,
Yep.
I love pizza enough that I would probably still eat it while I pick the pineapples off, but I would really hate those bites where some of the pineapple residue was still on there.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
No, diced,
You wouldn't even
little
pick it
diced
off?
pineapple with it. No,
I mean, if
man,
I'm
it's so-
famished, sure, but
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's chubby boy problems. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
you wouldn't
yes.
understand.
I probably order it with pineapple maybe 1 out of 5 or 6 times.
Oh,
we usually get a pineapple pepperoni 1 out of 3 times.
0 out of a million.
And if that's Michael, if that's not the answer you're looking for, I was just kidding. I don't really want you to leave. Stick around anyways. It's fun over
Yeah,
here.
man, stick around, man. Thank you so much for posting a question. We
Yeah,
totally
thanks
appreciate
for
it.
listening.
It's awesome. And welcome to the family. Travis Pospisil, how do you feel about kids these days getting the same trophy that all the kids get, whether they are first or last place? Wow, this is fairly loaded question in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, here's the thing,
Nope.
because I just went through this because Piper got a trophy because it's the end of the year. It doesn't say champions or first place or anything. It just says all it says is spring 2018. When you're this young, when you're 6 and 7,
Nope.
totally fine. When you're 10 and up, I say no, because then you
You need to know
need
there's
you
losers
need
and
to
winners.
learn. Right. You need to learn that there are winners, there are losers, and the effort that you put in is a reflection of what you get at the end. So when you're young,
Here's the thing.
I'm fine with it.
What's the trophy for? You know what I'm saying? So if the trophy is because you completed kindergarten and everybody got a thing, sure, I'm down with that. But if everybody's got to get something because you did a tournament in soccer and you guys were the first ones to go out, but you get a trophy anyway, I don't like that.
Nope.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm just like, because I'm thinking with the season, because it's a long season in soccer, like we don't do any tournaments. The games are, whatever. So give them a trophy at the end. That's fine. Because they're in our games, we don't even keep score. I mean, we do in our heads, of course. And the coach and I are always like, how are we doing over there? How are we doing over here? But because they're this young, it's totally fine. Once you start getting into a more competitive nature, then absolutely, man, you can't just get a participation ribbon. Give me a break. You got to work for it.
I agree. Chris?
To me, it's about the sentiment, I guess, behind it. So I don't really have a problem necessarily if everybody on the soccer team or every team gets some kind of little trophy. But the people who won the tournament or did the best, they need to get a big super duper trophy, or they need to get something that elevates and shows everybody, hey, they're the top dog. It's when it's like, no, we got to keep it all even because everyone's a special snowflake. No, I'm sorry.
Nope. I'm with you on that. Definitely.
Everyone is not
the
special.
people who did the best need to be rewarded because they,
Or there's no reason to try hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, you're going to have those people that they're just God-giftedly talented and don't really have to try and they just win. And, that's unfortunate. But you know what? You can work really hard and you can defeat that person. It gives you a goal, gives you a thing to go towards.
Yep. That just breeds complacency, and I ain't having that. Forget it.
Amen.
Yeah. Great question, though. Thank you for that. I love that. Nicholas Lowe, can you all broadcast episode 300 on Facebook or Twitch for those of us that cannot make it?
Of course. That's what we did with episode 200
Yeah,
and 100.
It will likely be streamed on our YouTube channel, which is where 200 was streamed last year. I don't know that we'll have the ability to. We could probably set something up to dual stream, but I don't know bandwidth wise if that's be something that'll be possible. So
Yeah, man. Let's
if
see.
we stream
could
to
do
one
that. And
spot, it'll probably be our YouTube channel. So keep your eyes there.
we could do a Facebook Live event afterwards too, if you want to. I mean,
Yeah, and we'll
But yeah,
we'll
we
make sure
usually
to
run
remind
everything
people and
through
be like,
YouTube.
"Hey, show's going to be at this time. Check us out live." Yada yada yada. We'll make sure that
Yeah.
we're
And that should be a reminder to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
Click that little
That's right,
bell
yep.
so you can get the notification when it's on and popping.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
At Twitter at Haley Zarel, with Krypton renewed for season 2 at Sci-Fi, what's a show or movie you thought was going to be garbage but you actually liked?
Rocky Balboa.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I walked out like, B minus.
That's not so bad.
Yeah. But I think probably because I thought it was gonna be terrible. If I thought it was gonna be amazing, it probably would have been very good.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm guessing. Ed, you have one?
I'll say Assassin's Creed.
Oh, really?
Ooh, look
Yeah,
at that.
I like that one.
Oh, yeah, the movie. Yeah, you're crazy about that.
No, it wasn't that bad.
Did you
I
see
watched
it?
it. It was fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay, there, Alexa Silver, old man.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
Oh, what do you think, Chris? You got one?
Yeah. So Stacy is from her younger years a huge fan of Anne of Green Gables.
Oh,
And
yeah.
There you go.
Netflix came out with a new version of it called just Anne with an E.
Yep.
And she was like, I really want to watch this. I was like, sure, absolutely. I will watch it with you. But I did not have, I was like, whatever, we'll just get through this. It'll be fine. You know, she'll love it and it'll
Yeah.
be great. I really enjoyed that show. It was
Did
a
you?
Right.
lot of fun. I cannot wait because I think
Nice.
that I saw it was going to be renewed for season 2 or whatever. Not only just
that's
is it
cool.
a charming little the way that everything happens in it, but it is beautifully shot. I'm saying ridiculously gorgeous to look at. I love that series.
Wow.
If you have Netflix, you need to check out Anne with
Nice.
an E. It's good.
You know what's funny about that is that Nerva, the girl that sings with us, loves Anne of Green Gables, just like
Yeah.
Stacy. And she was like, Gabe, you got to watch Anne of Green Gables. And I was like, I mean, come on.
Come on.
And then it was on TV one day, and I'm talking about the original Anne of Green Gables. I really enjoyed it. I was
Nice.
like,
That's
I
great.
was like, she's funny and witty, and like the things they say to her, and it's pretty like I don't know. I really like. I liked it way more than I thought. Because they on TV they break it up. It's not just one long movie. And so when it was over, I was like, oh, that was it. And she goes, you liked it a little bit. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah, I did kind of like it a little bit.
Yeah, the
That's
series remake or whatever you call it on Netflix. It's TV shows. So I think I want to say it's only like 8 episodes, but it might be a few more. But yeah, it's highly recommend.
Nice.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Very cool.
What about you there, Tim?
When Lauren started Outlander, I'm like, oh, what is this garbage? But I really actually enjoy that series as well. It's a little rough, but
Yeah, it
it's
is.
What's
it's
that about?
It's really good. Outlander. It's
Is that the time travel
Scottish,
thing?
Time travel, Scottish Highlands, love story kind of a thing. Yes.
Yeah, Jenny
And I was like,
watched
all right, what
some
is
of
this?
that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Lauren's like all in, hook, line, and sinker with it, and I really enjoyed it. It's really good. It's really well done.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good question, Haley. Good to hear
Steven
from you.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Steven Sabold at Subotai. Some games hold a special place in personal history for me, mostly the games I played when I was in high school. Marathon, Baldur's Gate, StarCraft, to name just a few. What games that are well past their prime do you look at with rose-tinted glasses?
Ridge Racer.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I loved Ridge Racer back in the day. I thought it was like a great, a great
I
driving
don't think
game.
I ever played it.
Yeah, it
can't
does not hold up. Ed?
Karaoke Revolution.
Nice.
I love you so much. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Oh, because I think sometimes people forget, and I mean we remind them often, but you have to remember how far back me and Ed go. Me and Ed go way back, and we played a lot of these games together. And so just for him to say karaoke, that's just really funny. Oh,
Plus, it
my
had a
gosh.
Dido song.
Of course it did.
Yeah, one of the hits, right?
That's right.
One of the many.
Chris, what about you?
I think my answer is GoldenEye because I have such fond
Oh,
memories
nice.
of it, but I've just heard
Of
so
course.
much. Like I just don't want to go back and ruin all of that.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tim?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm kind of new to the game, I can't really go that far back.
Yeah.
But,
you have any arcade games or anything that you used to play as a kid that you were like, oh, that was the best, but it probably sucks now?
Commando was that was a game that I would play all the time, and it probably would not hold up now at all.
There you go.
But yeah, I used to play that game a ton. All right, final question at Frozen Gamer 1987. I just found out I'm going to be a father for the third time.
Wow.
Nice.
Congrats, man. And just as I asked before my second was born, my question for Gabe, as a father of 3, is do you have any tips apart from never going to Disney World with them?
Exactly. That's tip number 1.
That's tip number uno.
Dude, this is kind of cool because he was listening when his second was born and wrote in, and now his third is coming and he's writing in. That's amazing. You have
a fourth. You're gonna have to get a new
born
podcast.
On this podcast.
Exactly. A tip I would have is realize you're outnumbered.
Name your child something that has to do with peace.
Yeah, exactly, like we did. Zone defense for the rest of your life. But it really is. I think zooming out is really important. Because there's gonna be days that you feel like this is, it's so hard, or we have it the hardest, or man, these kids. But like, if you can zoom out and really take the whole thing into view, I feel like it's easier to make it through those tough days. So I'd say that. Practice your muscle of zooming out.
Nice.
That's good, man.
Being able to see the blessings.
Yeah, there you go.
Over everything else. Because, it's funny when you have 3 kids, it's so easy to complain. And I think our culture right now with Instagram and everything like that, like the first thing people want to do is complain because misery loves company.
Yep.
But I think when you really do make a pros and cons list, usually the pros list way outweighs the cons list. Even if you're going through some tough stuff, your pros, and I always encourage people, I'm like, don't say, I'm thankful for my kids, because that's not usually how you do your con list. When I think of my pros and cons, I'm thankful for Amara because X, Y, and Z. I'm thankful for Remy because X, Y, and Z. I'm thankful for Milo because X, Y, Z. I'm thankful for my wife because X, Y, and Z. And so when you do that and you can break it out and it branches off like that, you really see how many blessings you got going for you.
This has been your Family Minute with Dr. Blackula.
Exactly. Oh, man.
No, that's perfect. You couldn't have answered that better. That's great.
Cool.
I love it. Thank you, everybody, for all of the questions. We got some good ones. I love that we got some newcomers too. Welcome to the family.
Yes.
And keep it going. And Mr. Ham, you're still banned next week.
Yeah. I love it.
Is he the most banned community member ever?
He's got to be. Yeah.
Yes, but he also puts in the most effort when it comes to doing the questions. So I applaud him for that, but he's banned next week. That's it.
That's a ham ban spam.
Hey, look at that.
I like that.
Love that.
Lot. The question of the week for you guys is Yanni or Laurel? I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
I was just joking. What did you think of the royal wedding? I'm just joking. That's not the question.
Thank you.
No, but we've done this a couple of times. We haven't made it a normal thing, but I want to make it a more normal thing. But the question of the week this week is to tell us something good. We've done this,
I love this.
Months and months ago, and it's just a good time to get together and rejoice with one another. Just like Frozen Gamer was saying, he's got a baby coming on the way. That's amazing. So tell us something good. We want to hear what's going on good in your life, and we'll share it next week. Chris, can you think of something good that's going on? Can you tell me something good?
Yeah, my dog got a fresh new summer haircut, and she's so cute and soft and cuddly. I just want to
picture is adorable. That picture is adorable.
She's the best.
She's so cute. That was a great cut.
That is great. Ed, tell me something good, buddy.
Sarah and I leave early Thursday morning to spend a week with the Stancils.
Hey!
What?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
I'm so jealous. You're gonna get double Stancil.
I know. I
You're
know.
gonna get him in Seattle.
You just
and
got
then,
Stanciled.
and then you got him at episode 300.
It's going to be a good month.
Are you guys flying to Nashville together?
No, I'm actually, when we leave Seattle, Sarah's flying home, and I'm actually flying then to San Francisco for a weekend of voiceover goodness.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Couldn't have planned that one better, man.
Yeah,
Well done.
you guys. Oh, that is really good.
That's awesome.
Timmy.
Man, you know what? I just love seeing my baby girl growing up and finishing kindergarten. And she finished it on a high note because one of the challenges before the end of the year, they did this toward mid-April, was to read 100 books. And she did it.
What?
And
Oh,
she
wow.
She read 100 books
100
before
books?
the end of the year. They
I don't
get
even
a
think
little
I've read
medal for
100
it.
books.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah, like ever.
I mean,
you mean like
now,
7-page
granted,
books?
No, it's actually like 10 page, like 10
Like
page.
Hop on Pop?
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
Mhm.
that's considered a book. But she did it, and I was so proud of her. And yes, she did get a medal for that because you know what? She deserved it. She read 100
Yeah,
books.
100 books. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm super proud of her. She
That's awesome.
crushed that. So
I like
now we got to
that.
work on math.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Oh gosh.
Golly. Man, I'm gonna say mine is the same thing as yours, man. It's definitely a crazy time of year. Just thinking of our girls going into the first
Right?
grade
First grade,
and
man.
knowing that there's 12 years to come of this doggone
Yeah.
schooling.
Dude, you and me, we just need to just get together and
It's crazy, man.
something. I don't know.
Seriously, we just drink ourselves into
That was
oblivion.
yeah. Either that or we'll just practice going to the gun range.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
Um, so yeah, man, they had a little graduation, like I was saying earlier, and
yeah, super sweet.
I
saw
missed it because I was in Canada, but Jenny sent me some pictures and stuff like that, and it is just like, dang, she ain't got no teeth, and she's just growing up, and she got friends and wants to go
She
hang
is
out. and stuff.
adorable with those no
She
teeth.
is so cute.
I don't know, man.
Is
I
she
keep
cute?
telling her her
No,
mouth look like a crossword puzzle. I can't wait for her teeth to
no,
come
man.
in.
No, man. She looks adorable. Come on now.
I was like, she can't even
That's so
smile.
funny.
She have to bite everything with the side of her mouth.
It's so cute, dude.
I'm like,
It really
yeah, get
is.
it in there, girl. Get it in there. You got it. You got it. Gum that thing. Gum that burger. So
It's like a chip card reader, basically. Poor thing.
exactly. It's like, let your saliva do the work. Let your saliva do the work.
It's so cute. She's so cute, man. Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
So let us know what is going on good in your life, and we will talk about it next week. I love when we do these. So tell
Yeah,
us
man.
something
Yeah.
good. Can't wait to hear it. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Peace!